My name is George Sedro. I'm a film music composer. I've been composing for 16 years now, but have been in the film industry for 8 years now. For Detor, I came in highly recommended by a renowned actress we all know, Akwafa Ejani, thanks to her. I met her way back, I think 2016. She was interested in my sounds. I sent her a couple of my pieces. She heard it, she was interested. She invited me to her house and we started rolling. So I worked on a project for her that was, I think, a 2016 election movie project. And since then, I think I've become her go-to guy for sound score. For films like Detor, which predates to the 16th, 17th century, I've had my interests in medieval movies. I watch medieval movies a lot. I mean, when you talk about even the European medieval movies like Game of Thrones and all that. And I've always believed that Africans, we have more story to tell. With Europeans, I believe they don't have more authentic stories like we do. We have ancestral stories. I mean, we talk of the Okonfa-Notches, talk of the Togbi, Charlie, and all these people. Yes, we have authentic stories which has been forwarded by our ancestors right down to our generation. If you look at our festivals, we have the various ethnic groups in Ghana. Every ethnic group have music they play during their festivals, and then their musical accoutrements play a lot of roles in these festivities. So when we tell our stories, we need to apply these musical accoutrements in a form of music score to help tell the story. Last year, I had a call from Makofi Jr. He told me I came in highly recommended. There's a film he wanted me to work on called Detor. So he came over to my studio, and then we sat down, and then that was when I got to know that, oh, okay, Detor actually it was a relation of King Agokoli. So I've worked on a similar project like that before, so I had a pretty much a good idea of what I was going to do. I mean, when it comes to our medieval stories, what do we have in common? As a composer, what am I going to do? I'm looking at a setting of old people, like a setting that predates colonial times where people were, I'm talking the 16th, 17th century. I was pretty sure I was going to have the application of our marimbas, our congas, our flutes. This being a story that predates the Ewe culture or the Ewe history, of course, we're going to have Ewe instruments in there as well, Talk of the hatchet. I believe I appropriately applied in the score, and I think I was very satisfied with the results that came out. Okay, so with OSLO, I must confess that was my first time even hearing that tune. Makofi Jr. actually brought the idea of the OSLO, it being very instrumental in the movie because the character actually sang that song in frustration. That as the tune goes, OSLO, OSLO. So we have to melodize it. I have to listen to it as a composer and know what I was going to do. Okay, so of course we're going to have our strings, because this is a story we are telling in our African way, but we are telling it cinematically. So when it comes to cinema, strings play a very major role there. So strings becomes the bed, and then we have our African instruments. We have the flutes that comes along, and then we have the marimba play something intermittently, and then the flute also play something intermittently, and then we have the strings be the bed, and then we have the lead string which comes in to follow. The piano also plays a very important role there. So I use the piano for the lead, and then somehow along the line, strings and the lead string and then the piano all come in unison, perfectly orchestrated. So I was able to put out something. I sent it to him. He listened and then he loved it, and then fit it into the character in the scene, and it worked. It was very beautiful. So he gave me a positive feedback, and I think he liked. OSLO is a melancholic piece. I mean, in the language, unfortunately, I'm an Ewe myself, so OSLO means it's worrying. Like, this is disturbing. It's hard. So he was able to complement Jedra in his time of distress. So when you hear OSLO, then Jedra comes in mind. The memories of the last execution he undertook kept haunting him.
Baka.
What's that all about?
She's gotten into the whole history of the Awe people, so...
Detor.
As a composer, you need very strong, close discussion with the director. The director is the one who has the story in mind and the film in mind. He's shot it. Okay, so when it comes to score, how do you go about it? When it comes to trailer, how do you go about it? So I told him, when it comes to trailer needs to be very much on point. If people watch it, they should be thrilled. When they are not thrilled, we failed at our job. It took me quite some time to conceptualize how I was going to go about the trailer in terms of the kind of brams and the kind of hits and swooshes, where and what and where I was going to put it, In a nutshell, it was challenging, but like I said, I love challenge. We have the Asafache. I mean, the accounts will call Obrafo. Obrafo, I'm told, is a chief guard who is so more like the protector of the chief. He is tasked with beheading people who have been sentenced to death or stuff like that. Someone is about to be beheaded, and this is a terrible thing. Africa, I mean, when it comes to our instruments, what can you use? Drum was going to be very instrumental there. Not just any drum, but a heavy drum. Drums like an African drum. You can relate it to drums that we use for our festivities, the kete or the fronton from. I mean, these are very instrumental. They are heavy drums, especially the kete. So, I mean, I was able to apply it there whilst we had some danger drone set the bird tone as a danger. Something is coming to happen. And then had the drum play intermittently to signify that something is going to happen,